What's up guys, Isaiah from FBAbros here, and in this video we're going to be going over how to find and choose the most profitable book sales in your area so that you can show up to these places every weekend, get a couple hundred books, and resell them on Amazon for a lot of money. Now real quick, if you are new to this channel or you don't know, we do have a Facebook group, the FBAbros Entrepreneur Mastermind Group, where we're going to be engaging with everyone and sort of just we're trying to create a little community where we can all help each other and grow together. And we also have an Instagram at FBAbros where we post content every day as well. So on to book sales. Now, if you don't know, or maybe you're new to book selling, or you just haven't been to a book sale yet, book sales are sales of used books usually held by libraries on the weekends, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday usually. And at these sales, you can usually find thousands of books for good prices, and most of the time these books have not been picked through, right? So a lot of times these book sales, they're bringing out books from the basement, from the back or something, or just stuff that's not in the regular store. So a lot of these aren't going to have been picked through already. So book sales are a very good place to go get guaranteed books. They haven't been picked through by other resellers, which means you're more likely to find profitable books, like I said. And sometimes libraries have preview sales on a Friday or Thursday where you can pay to get in, right? If the normal sale is on a Saturday, they might have a preview sale on Friday from like 4 to 6 p.m. or something. You pay $15 to get in. And our experience is usually worth it. One thing to note, though, is that competition can be very fierce at these book sales, so be sure to be on your A game. And that is another video we will make where we go over, how to dominate these book sales and do the best out of everybody there and leave with the most amount of money, because it really is a competition. A little tip is to show up early and be prepared. What does that mean? Just real quick, get there an hour early. Like I said, we'll make another video on this. But get there like at 45 minutes to an hour early. Be first in line. Make sure all your stuff's charged. Make sure you got a fresh database on your scanning app. And remember, don't be afraid of competition. Competition is a good thing. If you go to a book sale and there's a lot of people, a lot of scanners, that usually means there's a lot of good books there. And they've been going there for a while maybe, or it's just a highly advertised sale. But just don't be afraid of competition, because it's usually a good thing. It means there's money to be made there. So how to find book sales. Now, we are going to go into the website, booksalefinder.com, right after this and go over it. And I'll show you what makes a good book sale with a lot of examples and sort of how to choose the right ones. But the easiest way to find book sales is with booksalefinder.com, right? On this website, you can view all the listed book sales within your area and pick and choose which you would like to attend. Not all book sales are created equal, however. The biggest book sales are usually going to be in the biggest city near you. Also, certain book sales are not worth attending. Some have been picked through, some are small, some you just have to kind of go once and then never go again because you realize it's not worth it. It's just kind of how it goes. So on to what makes a good book sale. So, this is booksalefinder.com. Now, ignore all these ads here. You can see right here a little map of the U.S. And what you're going to want to do is just click on whatever state you're in, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Click on the state you're in. So let's, for example, say you are in Northern California, right? So you can see here, today is Tuesday. Okay, cool. So say Sacramento on the 17th, right? Which would be tomorrow for us right now. So this sale starts on a Wednesday, lasts till Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can see this info right here. You can see the address and phone number right here. And this is sort of what you're going to be looking at here. There's some general info here every time. Now this looks like a pretty good book sale. They don't have a lot of information here, but the information they do have is looks promising. So 7,000 plus books. That's a pretty good sized book sale. I would say a medium sized book sale is somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000, and 100% donated. That's great because you're gonna want to make sure in that 80 to 100% range, just so that the books are fresh. 60% hardcover, also good. These numbers are all guesstimated, this hardcover and softcover, so I wouldn't really pay too much attention to them. But 60% hardcover is good if that's true, because hardcover, probably it's usually worth a little bit more than softcover. Sorted. This is important. You don't want to go to book sales that are going to be all messy and jacked up everywhere. You want to be able to see, okay, this is the textbook section, this is history, this is whatever, and then you can make your route and go around and dominate the book sale. So The price here, I guess this means this is 3 for $1 to $10, which is weird. So I guess the prices are just all over the place. $10 is a lot. Usually these book sales are only, I've seen this before for special books and, signed books and stuff, but almost always you're going to be paying like $1 to $2 per book. So I would say, if you live near here, I would definitely try to attend this. And the more books and the better it looks, the more worth it is to travel. So if I was going to be going to this one on a Wednesday, right, for 7,000 books, I would probably travel about 40 minutes for this, 40 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on your normal sources and how well you do. But this looks promising, so I would say this is a good book sale to attend. On to the next one. And real quick note, as you can see here, these highlighted yellow ones, you can see there's 2 here and 3 here. This just means someone paid for it to be advertised on Book Sale Finder. So these ones are free, right? They can just throw these up for free, these non-highlighted ones, but they pay for the highlighting and the letters here. And that can be a good sign usually, because a lot of times, there you go. So like, see, I clicked on this one, big sale. It's a big sale. Usually the bigger ones want to advertise and get out there. So this one has a lot of information. Winter clearance, 50% off, already low prices store-wide. You got some sale prices, so it's like a half off sale. January 21st is the bag day. So a bag day on a sale is usually you fill up a book bag or a grocery bag with as many books as you can fit in there, and then you just pay per bag. So this says $9 per standard grocery bag. That's a lot of money. Normally bag sales are like $2 to $5, and you fill up a whole bag. But these big ones might try to gouge you a little more on prices because they are bigger and they do attract a lot of people. Here you got the dates and times, obviously. And right here, more than 35,000 books. That's a lot of books. Virtually 100% of our inventory is community donations. Few library discards. That's great. One of the 45 popular categories, whatever, they're going to have nonfiction anyways. Lots of children's books. Not really relevant, we don't really sell children's books on Amazon. No restrictions. Okay, this means that you can buy as much as you want. And sometimes at book sales, these book sales might have, it's pretty rare, but they might only let you buy 20 books or something like that. Or if you are a reseller, they may make you pay more at the door if you plan to resell, which I think is kind of gougey, but you got to play by the rules. But this just says no restrictions. So this looks like a great book sale to go to, especially if you live close enough to it. And this may be one I would travel, even an hour or two for. 35,000 books. It could be very worth it. I would definitely, also a tip, at all these book sales, you're probably going to want to call ahead and just confirm the information, confirm the address, confirm whatever you like, just ask, say stuff like, how much nonfiction do you guys have? How's it going to be organized? I would look up the address and see, what your venue is going to be like, what parking is going to be like, especially for these really big ones. Also for these really big ones, you're going to want to show up like 2, 3, maybe even more hours early, put a box down with your name on it or something, or stand in line with a chair, something like that. But at these big ones, a lot of people show up very, very early, sometimes even 5, 6 hours early, into the night. You might get some people, it starts at 10 a.m. Some people might be showing up there at 5 a.m. with a box to put down, but as long as you're in the first 20 people, 30 people for these big ones, you're going to be doing pretty well. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, so this is an advertised one. This looks like a great book sale to go to. Keep going. Oh, interesting. So this one is 38,000 books, Thursday the 4th, 6:30 p.m., and they're not advertising it. I've never seen a book sale with this many books not advertised. Interesting. So Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., so that's 2.5 hours on only one day. Also kind of interesting. Now this is weird because one day book sale for 2.5 hours usually doesn't really happen, especially for 38,000 books. I have a feeling that some of this might be typos, and there's no number here to call, so I would click on this, go to the library, and try to call them and confirm some of this. But let's just pretend it's for sure, right? So it's Thursday, you got 2.5 hours to attend, 38,000 books, that's great. 90% donated, great. 50% hardcover, good. Sorted, perfect. Paperback's 50 cents, hardcover's $1, which is kind of like the standard price of these book sales, right? That's awesome. And they even have books on CD, right? Audiobooks, slept on category. So that's always good. And so yeah, this looks like, if all this information is true, I would definitely attend. But again, with these ones and pretty much everyone, you're going to want to call and confirm everything's going on correctly, especially if it's your first time going there. Now, once you've been doing this long enough, you'll see the same sales every month, and you'll sort of get an idea of which ones are the best and ran the best, stuff like that. So you won't have to call ahead for that. But for your first time, call ahead. Just confirm whatever's going to be going on here. So moving on, we have another advertised one. So this one has rare and special books, large format art books. Hundreds of books donated 2015 with large history, art, and literature sections, plus current coffee table size art books. So yeah, this may be profitable. But if it really only has hundreds of books, probably not worth going to unless you live right next to this, right? I would travel 10 minutes for a book sale with 1,000 books, especially if we've been there before and we know it's good. But something like this, I wouldn't travel more than 10 minutes for hundreds of books. And even though it's advertised and whichever, and a lot of these rare and special books, they're not really worth anything on Amazon a lot of the time. Now, some of these art books, so they say they got science and like anthropology, psychology, spirituality. Those are definitely worth a lot, but out of hundreds of books, I don't know if you'll find that many. It doesn't take that long to scan hundreds of books. So this might be one I would skip, try to go to a better one, or if there's nothing else going on and you live close, maybe go check it out. One more for San Diego, or for Northern California. So this book sells on 2 days, Friday 9 to 7, Saturday 9 to 5. Something I should mention too, if I haven't already, is that you're going to want to go to these sales on the first day, right? You don't want to show up the second day after everyone's picked through and stuff. There can be exceptions to this rule if there is a bag sale, right? Friday is the first sale, Saturday is the bag sale. A lot of times people leave behind a lot of good books for the bag sale, and you can get them for very cheap, so it's still worth it, especially ISBN lookups and stuff like that. People skip those in a book sale because they panic. And check it out. This one does have a preview sale. So Thursday, 4 to 8 p.m., friends join at the door. So what this means is you can show up at 4 p.m. on that Thursday. I would show up earlier, though. And you can become a Friends of the Library member, probably for a small fee of like $10, $15, $20. Join at the door, and you can get into that preview sale. Now, I would definitely do this for this book sale. 15,000 books, 100% donated, 50% hardcover, sorted, not picked over. Take that with a grain of salt. No buyer restrictions. This is definitely one I would go check out. Maybe even drive, close to an hour for 15,000 books. This all looks good here. I would definitely go check this out. Try to show up an hour early here, join the friends, and go to that preview sale. So just for the sake of more information, let's move on to Texas here. Say you lived in Texas. Let's check out some book sales in Texas. So at the Weatherford Public Library, Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Preview night for teachers and homeschoolers. This is pretty interesting because this means they may have a lot of educational resources, which is very good. But check this out. Consignment book dealer removes items to sell online. That's a bad sign, right? That means someone comes in before the sale and they have a deal with them or something, and they come swoop up all the best books most likely. Now, they can probably still leave some stuff behind. People aren't that thorough, whatever, but in general, unless you live maybe 10 minutes from this one, I wouldn't go to it because, you already got a book dealer who came and removed items to sell online, which is what you're trying to do. So you don't want to go do that if someone else is already doing that. So keep moving on. Cypress. Not a lot of information here. Saturday 10 to 4. 5,000 books, 100% donated, 30% hardcover. It's kind of a low number. Sorted, not picked over, no buyer restrictions. Now remember, a lot of these sales are just library stores, friends of the library stores advertising on here. So while this might not necessarily be a sale where they bring out books from the bottom or stuff, but it very well can be. And you're going to want to go to those sales where they're selling the excess books, right? A lot of these sales, they might just be selling them in their library stores, which is the same books that are always there. And, if someone lives in Cypress, a bookseller lives in Cypress, and they pick through this once a week, and they don't bring any extra books out for the library sale, you might be, not getting that many books. But that's something you're just going to have to kind of go check out for yourself. And you can always call ahead and ask them those questions, but, they want people to come, so they're not going to give you... They might not give you the answers you're looking for, but you can always ask, do you guys bring up books from the back, or do you guys put out new, fresh books for the sale? And they're almost always going to say yes. The level they're doing that to, who knows? Like I said, you just got to go check it out. So this would be one I would definitely check out. Grand Prairie. 2,000 books, 80% donated, 9% hardcover. No buy restrictions, includes puzzles, video, CD, DVDs, all items 25 cents. Sunday, $1 brown grocery bag. So you can fill a whole grocery bag for $1, which is great. But check this out, all items have been in 2 previous sales. So that means for 2 sales, all these have probably been picked through, If it says this, they're probably not bringing out more stuff, and you can see here, they have some other ones scheduled for like 9,000, so maybe they bring out some more stuff. And see, this one says not picked over, this one doesn't. So this might be one I wouldn't check out unless you really had nowhere else to source and you lived real close to it. Maybe you can get some profitable CDs or DVDs if you're ungated to sell in those categories. Moving on, keep going. So this right here is a good example. This library sale has a preview. Friends join at the door for $10 a year. And check this out. They do not tell you how many books they have, and books are removed prior to sale. So that means someone probably comes in, and a book dealer may come in and buy some before the sale, something like that. Doesn't tell you anything that you want to know, right? Doesn't tell you if it's picked over. Doesn't tell you how many books they have. This is a throwaway sale. I wouldn't go to this, especially because it says books removed prior to sale. Don't do that, It's probably not going to be too profitable for you. Again, if you really have nothing else to do and you're desperate to find books, go check it out. Maybe you'll find, $40 profit, but we're not trying to find $40 profit. We're trying to make $500 in an hour or two, or $1,000 in, an hour, stuff like that, which is very possible at these good book sales, especially if you take them seriously. So this one, Missouri City, Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. Now, this is probably a preview sale, even though they didn't list you can join. But I would still definitely go during this time. I always try to go the first day, get the first pick. 1,500 books, pretty small. The rest of it makes sense, though. Not sorted, no buy restrictions, cheap prices, 100% donated. So for this one, I wouldn't travel more than 10, 15 minutes for this. But if it makes sense for you to travel 10, 15 minutes to this, definitely go check this out. This all makes sense. 1,500 books is an okay amount. You'll probably spend an hour and a half there scanning through all these maybe half's nonfiction. And, yeah, this is one I would check out if you're close enough. So let's keep going to another city. Say you lived in New York City. Check this out. All these are advertised, so these should be pretty juicy, I think. And here we go. This is our largest sale ever. Thousands of items, books, DVDs, CDs. So if you sell DVDs or CDs, it'd be a good one to go to. Nothing over $2. That's great. Saturday, $5 bag of books. And that's pretty much it. 100% donated, thousands of items. So this is probably a good one to check out. Parking available. That's good. I might call this one and ask, how many nonfiction they have. Stuff like that. And just, since they don't give too much information here, just ask, how many educational resources do you guys have? Do you guys carry textbooks? Most profitable book category? And if they ask why, like, oh, are you a reseller? Do you want to know why? You say, no, I run a homeschool. Just kind of finesse your way into there to get some information. But this is one I would call ahead and check out. Cabin Fever Sale. 20,000 books, 100% donated. Surprising flea market items. That's the first time I've ever seen that. I'm not sure what that means. Preview sale. No scanners allowed at preview sale. So there you go. So if you are a book scanner, you are not allowed at this preview sale. Sometimes the libraries do this so that the friends of the library members can shop there in peace. That's up to them, whatever. If you know, sell books, you can still go there though, and just maybe buy up all the textbooks and hope they're good. I wouldn't do that though. I would just show up on the normal day where they allowed scanners. So this would be a great one to go to. You know, 20,000 books, 100% donated. They have not been picked over. Leftover books community groups, not held over from one sale to the next. So they get new books every time. So this is probably going to be a very good one. I like seeing that. If you guys can read down here. Leftover books are given to community groups, not held over from one sale to the next. So they get rid of all their books and they start fresh every year or however often they do this. So this would probably be a great one to go to if you can make it to this one. And guys, that's pretty much what you're going to be looking for in these book sales, right? Like I said, click on your state, do some investigating, and this is the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to book sales, right? This is where all the booksellers go check out. So you're going to find a lot of competitions at these places. However, when you start going a lot of book sales, you know, you start talking to library ladies, start making friends, you know, you hand out your business card, you get their other advertisements for other library sales, because a lot of times library sales will advertise other library sales in the area, maybe coming up in the next week or so, stuff like that. And that's how you find the library sales where there's not a lot of scanners, right? Not too much competition. You find them by first going to these ones and then making connections, talking to people, getting information, right? Acquiring information is super important for all these. And that's how you're going to find the ones where there's not too much competition. But like I said, don't be afraid of competition. Just try to dominate your competition and try to be the first one there, the most prepared, takes it the most seriously. Now, be a nice guy or girl, obviously. You know, don't start shoving people and throwing elbows and stuff and get into fights. But definitely assert your space at these sales if it gets hectic, because some of these may be hectic, especially the big ones when there's a lot of scanners. But guys, that's it for this video. If you want to watch more book selling tutorials, we'll link to some in the description of this video. And subscribe if you want to learn more about how to make over $100,000 per year selling used books on Amazon FBA. But that's it, guys. Isaiah is out of here. That's me. Goodbye.